So before we jump in, if you like this, please feel free to comment, like, maybe even subscribe. So now let's just get into what the title is all about. So as most of you probably know, FRYS Electronics has finally gone out of business. If you don't know about FRYS Electronics, it is from the Bay Area, like the San Francisco Bay Area, a electronics store that was like quirky and fun and all of this. It was supposed to really compete with Best Buy and all those different types of stores. And there wasn't too many of them. There was a good amount of them. But I'm from the East Coast. I know there really wasn't any near me. So all I knew about FRYS was that it was a really cool looking electronics store. And their owner actually used to own a arena football team, the San Jose SaberCats, until the Arena Football League went bankrupt and then they just never came back. But the story I have is how my intuition kept me from joining a absolutely atrocious company. So let me tell you, I moved from the Philadelphia area to San Jose with no job prospects at all. And if you don't know anything about this area, it is one of the most expensive places for rent in the entire country. So I had maybe, I want to tell you, $1,700 to my name. I didn't find a job for like the first month. Then I started working part-time for the San Jose Sharks store. That was paying me okay, but I was only getting like 30 hours a week, hopefully, and maybe a little bit more if the team was playing in town. So obviously I was still looking for like a real job, like hopefully an office job. Well, what happened was I put in on, I think it was was it Indeed? I think it was Indeed. Hey, look, FRYS is looking for customer service people. It's full time. I'm like, okay, cool. Should have probably looked also at the requirements because all I saw was 40 hours. I'm like, I need 40 hours. So I get a call and they're like, oh, you worked in retail customer service for a couple years now. I was like, yeah, I did. So they immediately brought me in for an interview to the world headquarters. So when I was on the phone with the girl, she liked to make sure I knew that I was going to the FRYS Electronics world headquarters in San Jose, California. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to be working at a massive company. Like, this could really be beneficial for me, right? Boy, was I wrong. So my interview day comes up. I'm wearing a suit and tie and everything, like I always do for all my interviews. I show up, and this place is, how do I say this? Rundown. Like, this was the world headquarters. The lights in the lobby weren't working. It was like pitch black. And the security guards are like, yeah, somebody's gonna come down for you. Okay, maybe they're just not turning on the lights. Then out comes like 4 or 5 guys just all talking, and they're wearing button-down shirts and ties and nice pants and shoes. I'm like, oh, I guess this is like the sales team or whatever, or like they're a part of the sales team for FRYS since this is the global or the world headquarters. Keep in mind. So she brings me up. We have the interview, and we're going to the interview room, and I just get up to the bullpen, and it's like yellow, and like I'm talking like disgusting yellow. Like there was smoke. Like you would think like it was like a smoky room or anything, and it was the lights. Well, it turns out like half the building is dark, and then the other half is used for FRYS customer service. And then I say that, but actually the other half is split between, I guess it was a local college, like a technical college, and FRYS. So a lot of the building was completely empty and dark, and not even used completely by this massive, or what I thought was a massive company. No, it was just disgusting. Like, the lights were yellow, like not bright or anything, and it was kind of like just depressing. I'm like, oh god, do I even before the interview, I was like, do I even want to work here? So that's never a good sign when you're just walking through, because it did not seem like a fun place. I was right. So I'm just, as I'm walking through, I'm listening to people, and they just sound depressed. Welcome to, thank you for calling FRYS customer service. This is so-and-so. And I'm just thinking, oh my god, I can't do this. I've had like my foot like 60% of the door. Like, I almost ran out of there. So then we have the interview, and I'm already hesitant. And then she's talking to me, and she's pretty much like offering me the job just because like I have so many years of retail experience. She gets to the requirements. I'll get paid $2 more than minimum wage in San Jose, so that I think that was $17, I think, which is less than I was making at the San Jose Sharks. And then I also had to work 40 hours a week with mandatory overtime sometimes. Who knows when that would be. I couldn't take holidays off. I really had no vacation I could take, and I'm thinking I'm trying to get back to the East Coast for at least Christmas. I already had planned to see my brother graduate high school. Nope, all of that would have been tanked. So I'm like now 75% of the way gone. So then they're like, before we offer you the job, or we even think about offering you the job, we're gonna have to make you take a typing test. So it was like one of the, like, they didn't have like their own actual typing test. They went on to like speedtyper.com or whatever, and it was like a race. And I hit like a 150 words per minute, and they're like, perfect, you're fine. So then they're like, well, would you sign today for like an extra, like, I want to tell you, like $100? It's like, at that point, I'm like, I'm not working here, like, at least to myself. And to be pleasant, I just said, no, I actually have a second interview. I didn't have a second interview. I just needed to get the hell out of there before I signed my life away to this company. I booked it as fast as I could out of there. A couple of days later, like 2 or 3 days later, I gave him a call. I'm like, hey, I found somewhere else. I just stayed with the Sharks. But I at least told him, I was like, I can't work for you. It was one of the most depressing places for what, quote unquote, the world headquarters. And if you've seen like the stores, like, they're wacky and fun. If you went to the world headquarters before it closed down, it was the most depressing place I've ever seen. Luckily, it all worked out for me, and my desperate need for money didn't overtake my sensibility, but boy, did I dodge a bullet there. The people that were working there just seemed so depressed. They also told me in the interview that even though this is a customer service job and I'll never be facing people, I had to wear a button-down shirt and tie, a red tie, which is the color of FRYS' logo, every single day. Even if I was to also work the overnights, which they told me that I would have to sometimes do a 24-hour shift. Nope. I don't know if this was something towards the end because they literally couldn't find anybody else to do customer service, or if that was just always how it was. And I could understand why people were so depressed, because I was not doing that. So yeah, I dodged a bullet. I thought to myself, this company is not going to last much longer. And fun fact, I kept reading reports. FRYS is going down. FRYS is closing stores here all the time. Well, last week, they finally shut down. So, yeah, that's my story of how I didn't work for a completely failed company when I was completely desperate. So, yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. maybe think about subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.